Okay, boy, out the car. You're in a lot of trouble, boy. Violation of City Ordinance 11-14, operating a racing-type vehicle inside the city limits. I suppose that's a reconverted lawnmower motor.
Optional 440 Magnum V8.
If you can handle the way people react to your 1970 Dodge Challenger, you could be Dodge material.
Beep, beep. So my new dash top came for the Chally. Now this is a temporary fix. There are places I can send my original metal dash to get it redone, but this was the cheapest, simplest alternative to making mine look good. So got this from Classic Industries. Anyway, it's got a whole bunch of directions and stuff and how you put it on there, but it'll go right over your old one and make her look new. What do you think? It's awesome. I've had some guys give me some recommendations to send my whole dash to get it redone. Really appreciate that. I wrote those down so I can find them again. I'm not really looking forward to taking that back out again, but I need to spend my money wisely. I need to get the things done that are absolutely necessary, like, you know, high dollar hydro boosts and bare brake master cylinders, you know, carpet, door panels, stuff, and get the heater box fixed with the AC set up in it, because I got a brand new chrome compressor. I got to get the important things. I got to make it look good. Anything that I can improve and fix later easily, that's what I'm going to do. How do you like these fender covers? Those are nice, aren't they? Blaine and Catherine Keith sent me those. Oh, look at this. It's Christmas. I got a box of Challenger stuff, gaskets, turn signal thingamabobbers. I got some OE bolts for the door hinges, plug kits, all kind of cool stuff. Insulation, original insulation stuff, and a giant wiring diagram. Okay, so I got my Hydro Boost off. Hopefully this is the last time it's coming off. Gonna kiss that 40-year-old gasket goodbye and put on a brand spanky new one. Hopefully this is the last one. Okay, got the booster in for the final time, and I mounted it with some Allen head stainless screws so I don't ever have any rust there. And then right over here you see that piece. I had to paint it. That is a firewall stiffener, and I'll show you the bracket inside. And then I bought a plug kit with all the body plugs on it. That big hole right there with that black plug in it wasn't plugged when I got the car. She's pretty loud and drafty and fumy. So this is the bracket, this right here, and that holds this pin in right here for the clutch and brake. It actually supports this, and so you have to have that support out there to bolt that all on. But so I've got everything in here and tightened up. This is the final time, but I had to get all that in because I want to put that butyl sound deadener in here, but I certainly couldn't put that in places like where that stiffener and bracket went. Otherwise it wouldn't bolt down. So it's time to start cleaning up the firewall and maybe start getting some of that butyl down, and then test fitting, put the heater AC box in, make sure that I can get it over there on that side. So I just got to keep humping. So I started putting some of that sound deadener on the firewall, but I wanted to get the dash in here to make sure that I can get it up under there, and I don't see any issues with that whatsoever. So I got to keep going. This is very hard, very hard. So I got the emergency brake lever out so I can clean all this up and insulate it. But I was missing 2 of my lower hinge door bolts. So I bought a bag of body bolts and stuff, the original looking ones, and I just got those in there. But I had to put my Napa floor jack under the end of the door and kind of take some weight off of it and loosen these 2, because the deal they bolt to in here is all one piece, and I couldn't get the bolts through because it was like crooked. So I got them in and I tightened them up and everything looks good. That's a big old heavy door. So you remember when I said, yeah, I got all this brake stuff in for the final time? Nah, I had to take it clear back out in order to put this sound deadening mat in here, which is an 80 mil butyl rubber. It's really hard to work with, and I just looked at that and I went, this can be 10 times easier if I just get it out of there. So what I did before I took it out is I ran a magic marker around on the firewall so I could cut it out in there, because you can't have that butyl rubber there. But on this support bracket right here, I didn't cut it out, because this is a bracket supplied by Silver Sport Transmissions, and it didn't quite want to reach the firewall, and I had to put a washer under this bolt and between there and the bracket, because when you tighten it down, the clutch pedal, you'd let go of it and it wouldn't go to the floor because it was putting it on a bind. But you've got to have this bracket in there. I called Silver Sport and they said, oh, yeah, you don't need that. Yes, you do. This bracket keeps this pedal assembly from sliding off the shaft. Plus, there's also a little felt washer up under here that keeps the dirt out. So you got to have this. So if you're doing this to a car with an automatic, right here in the firewall, when you get up in here, there's like 2 holes that are almost, it's like they put some kind of punch thing in there and they're indented. So you just got to get a drill bit just a hair bigger than 5/16, put it up there, and boy, it'll just zip right through it. But the one thing they don't include in the kit is the firewall stiffener plate that has the studs in it. So that's this piece right here. I painted it, and that's got the studs go through and bolt in there. And they don't supply that, and they should, because you're going to have that to make this work. But anyway, so I've got everything covered here. Those insulation panels I got from Classic Industries, and underneath them I also put the sound deadener, both sides. The only thing left I have to do is this little section under here, and then across the floor over to meet that level, and then I'm ready to start putting gauges in. Now, I have covered up some holes, but it's easy to find them, and I just use a hole punch deal and slice through there. That's where the foot feed goes. I'm going to try to put it on and bolt it to this stuff and make sure it works and that I get full throttle and all that. But I think every square inch of that iron you can cover up. You cut down the sound and the vibration. So originally these cars really didn't come with a whole lot of insulation. So if I do this all the way back, do the floor, pull the back seats out, do behind there, possibly do in the trunk, I should be able to kill the racket. Because one of the worst things you'll find in a car like this is you put some loud mufflers or whatever under there, they're going to rumble, and this, you get that obnoxious drone at certain speeds. So that's what I'm hoping to kill with this. Anyway, I've never done this before. It ain't the best job in the world. I'm doing the best I can. I'm learning. Thank goodness I got lots of room under the dash here. There's nothing really that pushes up against that. There was lots of room between the heater AC box and the firewall. There's actually a fairly thick piece of insulation that's supposed to go in there. Don't know if I'll put it in or not. They sent me the wrong one. They sent me one for a CUDA without AC, and it won't fit. So the tag says, on the description, it says it's for an E-body Challenger, but then on the other tag, it says CUDA, no AC. So anyway, got to get another one, but I'm moving along. Time to get the gauges in and start finishing that, and then I can head on back. Hey, so I think I've changed my mind on this dash. I probably wasted $100 on that cover, but I don't like the way it fits, and I don't like the fact they tell you that you got to take your glove box door and shave, like, grind 1/8 of an inch off of it. And I'm like, I'm not going to ruin the glove box door to put a dash cover on. So I think I'm going to send my original dash off to get recovered. And then I've been hard at it in here. Got all that up there under the firewall done, set the dash in. So I need to take the dash outside. I think what I want to do with it is sandblast it and repaint it. But I'm not real sure what to paint it. I don't know if I wanted to paint it glossy black or some kind of a... This doesn't look like it was ever a glossy black color, so there isn't much of it that's going to show. It's just mostly that piece there and the glove box. Okay, I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what it takes to put this down. So when you've got extreme angles and stuff, what it tends to do is run it off to the Joneses, and then as you can see right there, I didn't get that down first. And so when I shoved it down, it ripped the foil, so I'm going to have to put some speed tape over that. Otherwise, that's going to want to stick to like the carpet underlayment. So this piece right here is the next one I'm going to put in. So basically what I do is I just kind of get it in there, and I ended up cutting it right here so it can go in there. And then this is going to go over. This deal is like welded in here. It's kind of broke in one spot. I may have to tack weld it, but basically all your wires and stuff go in here. And so I thought, well, I'll run this up on it. If it did break off or whatever, this will keep it from rattling around and hold it. But I wanted to put the wires back in a place that you can get to them if you need to do something to them. I didn't want to... I mean, most of the time, if you're going to put this stuff down, if you don't have a trough like this, you want to make sure to get all your wires out, and I have. And then put your wires down on top of this, because I don't think you'd want it underneath. I don't think you'd want it glued there. And then I'm not an expert at this, so I mean, I've never done it before, but one of the things you run into is sometimes, I don't know, I just found it easier to let it overlap in places. It's really not bad if you need to cut it to straighten it up or whatever to make things fit. You just take a razor blade, cut it, it peels right off. Now that might not be the case after it gets good and warm, but the shop is only about 60 degrees right now, and at night I turn the thermostat down to about 50. So it never really gets super hot out here, but come summertime and you run the car, this stuff may really, really stick. I don't know. And then one of the other things I ended up doing, because like I said, you get these extreme angles, and when you do that, it tends to pull the stuff. So I ended up with a big gap right here, so I just took a narrow piece and laid over it. The carpet and whatever's going to cover that, as rough as the floor is with all these indentations for strength and stuff, I just can't see that it's going to be an issue that I overlapped it here and there or whatever. So I don't know. If you guys have ever done this, give me some pointers. I could sure use some. So let's see if I can get this piece down. So it's going to have to overlap a little because otherwise I'm not going to get it up here to cover. So usually what I do is start down here, and where you've got creases and whatever, you're going to want to get it to lay into that stuff first. Otherwise then you know, if you don't, you're going to get that cracking nonsense. And right here's a body plug, so I want to try to get it stuck to that before I get too far gone here into these grooves. Just trying to get it down in there, and then I'll peel more of the backing off. I got these things, but I usually don't use these till the last. I use them. I'll get it pushed down in here around this stuff. It stretches pretty well, but it's only going to go so far. And then I try to roll everything. It's got like a diamond pattern, so I just try to roll all that, and then I know that I got it down. I want all those edges down good. I don't want them peeling up. So we'll just get the rest of this off. So right here is this angle, so I need to get it into that first. And then I've got a indent in the floor there. I've got to try to get it down into. See, now there's a big deep trough in here, and it's going to want to pull it down like that and wrinkle the crap out of it. And that's where you lose your length. And that's where I needed to get an overlap in there. Otherwise, it just ain't going to work. And then when you get over in the corners, you got all this seam sealer and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it don't, you get all wavy gravy, but I can get it down. Okay, see, I got a ridge here because of that thing, so I need to kind of try to pull that up to get that out and get the slack. But you got this crazy radius and stuff here, and it can be see, it wants to rebound there, so I'm not getting it down in. There we go. See, it goes into there and then it comes back up again here. It's just pain, it's pain, I tell you, it's pain. So I do the best I can. See, I can roll the wrinkles out of it. You spend enough time at it. right in this corner is where I'm worried about it pulling too hard and breaking it, so I got to be careful with that. Okay, now we come to right here where this piece is, and it's going to overlap. I'm going to end up trimming that, I know I am, or I just got to fold it around there. I just fold the thing around and there we are, it's on there. Oh, and I took I got some polishing cloth stuff that I use. I cut off a chunk. It's like a round sleeve. That way you can turn it around and use the other side. And I put some reducer on it. And then I get in here and I clean the floor so it's clean. And then this stuff will stick to it pretty good. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I try to get all the edges and seams really buckled down because I don't want it to, you know, come loose there. See, I've cut it already right there with this roller. You're getting an edge like that and it's like, uh-oh. So places like that, I'm gonna have to use some of the, I got a big roll of that silver tape. And I'll probably tape all these because you've got, you know, some sticking out here on the edges. And you don't want that sticky stuff poking out. So I can't do the tunnel because the brackets that they've got it. There's some brackets that have to get welded on there, and somehow I got to figure out where to put those. And I can't bolt them to the console and put them up there, or I can't see to tack them. So the only thing I can think is somehow I'm going to have to build a jig and screw them to the jig and get them on there and then tack it. I don't know. If you got some ideas how to do that, let me know. Hey, Christmas came a couple days late. Let's see what we got here. Got a couple of priority mail packages. Hey, so this comes from Scott Shellberg in, Scott Schaefer from Shellsburg, PA. He sent me a Christmas card with dogs on it, getting a butt-scented candle. He says, wishing you all your favorites this Christmas, Scott Schaefer. Sent me a couple of business cards, a magnetic one and a regular one. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you for the letter and the other pamphlet and the other you know what. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. So this comes from my buddy Curly in Tennessee. He found me one of these braided belts that I wear. Whew, that's a long one. That's longer than a rattlesnake. But anyway, these are cool because you just undo the deal here and you shorten it up, cut it off, and then burn the end of it here so it doesn't unravel. Thank you very much for that, Curly. Appreciate that. You know, I've seen this. It's quite the illusion. And it does hurt your head. Share to hurt someone else's head. I can't see it. It just drives me nuts. Anyway, he says, here's a little something that I found for you. The yellow ain't perfect for cat colors, but I know you seem to like these braided belts, as I'm sure that you know you can shorten those belts to fit your new svelte figure. But you might want to leave a little room for possible future expansion. I'm sending this on Christmas Eve. Hopefully you have it by Valentine's Day. USPS is running a bit slow. You can probably fit one of your cat buckles in place of the included one. Hope you have a busy new year after your car is done. So do I. Curly, thank you very much. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Whiteboard.
Katie, Amber, and Shelby from
Atchison.
Kansas. Ken and Sylvia Gibbs from Australia.
And they sent you a card from Tasmania to Tasmanian Devil. Kind of like you, huh? Are you a Tasmanian Devil? Yeah?
Jason Strait from Lewis, Kansas. Jason Castman from Camden, South Carolina. Larry Myers from Garden City, Michigan. Happy New Year from Liv and Cuckoo. That's Casey's nick. Thanks for watching my papa.
Bingo, that was good.